what's happening around the world and what's happening here at home. A very good evening to and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
First UNP rally for the upcoming election held in Kuliapitia. President says not afraid of challenges. 20 kilograms of rice for Aswasuma beneficiaries for the new year. Will not attend meeting with IMF representatives. Secretary to the opposition leader informs Secretary to the President. Central Mail Exchange to launch strike from midnight today. Gazette issued permitting the import of spices, including cardamom and nutmeg for re-export. Permission granted to import powdered or unground nutmeg as well. 2024 Miss World title goes to the Czech Republic.
First up in news here at home, the Samagi Jana Balavegya today officially announced that the SJB has declined the President's invitation to participate in tomorrow's meeting with the representatives of the International Monetary Fund. The opposition leader's secretary informed the President's secretary of this decision in a letter.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has convened a pivotal meeting with leaders of accepted political parties in the opposition to discuss the proposals put forth by the International Monetary Fund with its high-level delegation. The meeting is slated to be held at the President's office tomorrow. However, Sri Lanka's main opposition party, the Samagi Jana Balavegya, announced the party's decision to decline the President's invitation to participate in tomorrow's discussion with representatives of the International Monetary Fund.
People with double standards like this took over this country and bankrupted it. Now the people who bankrupted the country are inviting us to negotiate with the IMF. We are not ready to pay for those sins.
Here's the stance of the government.
I believe the decision to skip tomorrow's meeting was a cheap move. I respectfully extend another invitation to the opposition leaders. Now is the best moment to act. Declining the request without careful consideration shows that the opposition has no proper course of action, even if they believe they do. It is quite evident that it seems incompatible with the current situation. Even if the opposition chooses not to participate in this meeting, we remain committed to addressing the challenges facing the government's program and the country's economic growth.
The Jataka Jana Balavegya has said that the JJB will not join the discussion tomorrow. Executive Committee member of the JJB, Vijitha Herath, confirmed this during a media briefing yesterday. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party said that they have not yet received an invitation to the discussion to be held tomorrow with the International Monetary Fund. Senior Vice Chairman of the SLFP, Mahinda Amaravira, said he will participate in the discussion only if he receives an invitation. Tamil National People's Front MP Selvaraja Gajendran said his party was not invited for the discussion tomorrow as well. The Ilangai Tamil Arasa Katchi is of two minds regarding participation in the discussion. ITAC MP Sridharan said he will not join the discussion, while ITAC MP M.A. Sumandiran said he will participate in the discussion. Leader of the Tamil National Alliance R. Sambandhan said he will participate in tomorrow's discussion. Sri Lanka Muslim Congress leader Rauf Hakim yesterday said this is an initiative that should have been undertaken long time ago. Accordingly, various political parties have expressed mixed opinions on their participation for tomorrow's discussion with the International Monetary Fund. So far, the Samagi Jana Balavegya, Jataka Jana Balavegya, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Ilangai Tamil Arasa Katchi, Tamil National Alliance and the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress have announced their stance.
When's the election?
The first public rally of the UNP targeting the upcoming election was held in Kuliapitia today. Leader of the United National Party, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, headed the rally.
The United National Party's first public rally ahead of Sri Lanka's elections got underway today at the Kuliyapiti Urban Council grounds. The rally was held under the theme Sabaval. The event was organised by the Deputy Leader of the UNP, Akila Viraj Karyawasam.
Garu Janadipati Ranil Wickramasinghe Mathituman මේ අවස්ථාවට සම්ප්‍රාප්ත වනවා ඔබේ හරසර ඔබේ ප්‍රණාමය අප ගෞරවයෙන් යුතුව ආරාධනා කරනවා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමන්ට මේ දෙවන්ත ජන රැලිය අමතන්නට
අද අපි බංකොලොත් භාවයෙන් පිටවෙන්ට ඉන්නේ. ගොක්ක හිතුව අවුරුදු 5ක් යයි කියලා. දැන් IMF සංවිධානය ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
Today we are waiting to come out of bankruptcy. Many people thought that this will take 5 years. The IMF has come in. Discussions are ongoing and we hope to sign the first agreement with our official creditors in May or June. We will get concessions from them. Then they will recognize our country as a country that is no longer bankrupt. We have begun the Aswasuma program. We are giving them benefits that are 3 times that of the Samurdhi. We will give them 20 kilograms of rice for the new year. I am giving these to them during these hard times. On the other hand, we will create a revolution in the concessions that we give. We were divided at the 2020 general election. I said let's speak the truth as the UNP and move forward. But some people thought that they needed to give false promises to win the election, like promises to give pads and shoes. I would like to remind you what we said. We will lose about $7,000 million worth of foreign income that year. We said this in 2020. We said that we will lose $7,000 million and that we need to find $3,000 million. The SJB said that they will give everything. There is no point in me speaking about that again. What did the JJB say?
අපි එකට බැස්සා. සජ්ජබේතෙන් කිව්වේ හැම එකම දෙනවා කියලා. මම ඒ ගැන ආපහු කියන්න වැඩක් නැහැ. මොකද්ද ජනතා ජාතික පෙරමුණ කිව්වේ? මේ පූතියන්න එපා.
Listen to what they said. They said that an independent institution will be set up to ensure that your income is doubled in this crumbling economy. What did they say in 2021? They said that they will develop a plan for the next 5 years showing how to increase foreign reserves. We are losing the foreign reserves that we already have. What are they going to do once this plan is made? Are they going to add spice and salt and make a sambal out of it? No one other than the United National Party had a plan.
President Ranil Wickramasinghe also spoke about his rise to power following the Aragalaya.
What happened because of the incident along Gaul Road on the 9th of May? Mahinda Rajapaksa resigned. Sajith Premadasa said that he cannot accept this responsibility. Andra Dissanayake didn't even ask for the responsibility. I do not blame any one of them. I know the reason for that and I will show it to you now. How can any one of them accept the position of Prime Minister like this? They couldn't even go to Galface. On that day, I was inside the Shangri-La Hotel for the wedding of the daughter of Ranjit Simbalapitiya. Everyone on the outside got to know that I was inside the hotel. They saw me leaving. Did anyone come and ask me to leave? Then I had spoken with some backbench MPs of the Port Tour and asked for the President to convene a meeting, and I accepted this responsibility as nobody knew where the country was going. Who was there to accept this? The SLPP couldn't take up the responsibility. Sajith couldn't do it. Andra couldn't do it. Sambandhan was sick, so he couldn't accept it. I went and accepted this responsibility and asked President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to get the support of the opposition as well. They didn't want to do that. This is the reason why the incidents on the 9th of July took place. I don't know if the 9th of July was aimed at ousting Gotabaya Rajapaksa or ousting me. When they surrounded the President's residence, he left. But when my house was being set ablaze, I remained there. We are UNPers. I spoke to Mahinda Rajapaksa and told him that we need to move forward, and this is the reason why I'm accepting this. Even they went and spoke to Mahinda and asked him for this. They asked for his support. They said that they will do him no harm. All of those who are saying that Mahinda Rajapaksa is bad today went to him with bouquets of flowers. I just spoke to him over the phone. They went to Mahinda Rajapaksa and said that he was good, but only if he supported them. I would like to ask the SJB not to lie like this. What did they do after that? They took the stooge of Mahinda Rajapaksa, GLP, to their team. That stooge does not say that Mahinda Rajapaksa is bad. SJB has accepted these stooges. There is no room for UNPs there. Therefore, I ask all UNPs, even if you vote for us or not, or vote for the SJB, you must join us now. Join hands with everyone. Let's save this country from this debt. Disrupting Ranil Wickremesinghe is disrupting the future of the country. Therefore, always remember, the time has come for the people to decide if you will side with those who agitate the people, bring them out to the streets, and in the words of the President himself, try to push the country off this vine bridge that we are on. Or if we are all going to unite despite party differences and strengthen the President and work with him.
When's the election?
The Colombo District Women's Conference of the Jatika Jana Balawegaya was held in Homagama today. The event was held under the auspices of the leader of JJB, Anura Kumara Disanayaka.
Ranil Wickremesinghe හැමවෙලාවම දේශපාලන කරන්නේ පැරණි දේශපාලනයි. ජාතික ජන බලවේගයේ දේශපාලන කරන්නේ.
Ranil Wickremesinghe practices old politics. The JJB engages in politics with the new people. With the people who changed in 2022. The people have changed. So what are we confident about? They have money, they have power, and they have the media. What do we have? We have you, and that is our biggest strength. We have nothing else. This is the power that we have. Rupavahini is only one channel. But here, we have thousands of women with us. That is 10,000 channels. Do not give up. 1/4 of Ranil Wickremesinghe's campaign was about him and 3/4 of his campaign was about us. They have given one of our people the task of writing about us. I pity them. They can't even find someone for that. What are they doing now? They are trying to spread fear by highlighting the 89 riots and May 9th incidents and create a fear among the people. That is one campaign. The second campaign is them saying that we too have been a part of their governments. The third campaign is to say that this is not a time that we can afford to experiment. They say that this is not a time to experiment and that the people must vote for a person that they know very well. That is the third campaign. That is all. 3/4 of his campaign is dedicated for us. They are pumping money and publishing advertisements. They are printing papers. They are publishing slanderous, false and malicious statements.
ඒකනේ මොකද්ද? අවලාද, අසත්‍ය, වැරදි තොරතුරු ඇතිතරම් ප්‍රචාරණය කරනවා.
මේ වෙනකොට දැන් මේකට එරෙහිව එන බලවේග හැම වෙලාවෙම.
The forces that are now opposing our initiative are targeting women in politics, insulting and attacking us. This happened previously only to female leaders who were in the forefront. But today they are targeting all of you as a whole and slandering you. I heard various people asking on platforms whether the JJB Women's Force are ready to cook using clay stoves. I heard them asking if the women who attend our meetings are ready to become prostitutes. What are they doing? Those are insults directed to us women. Will these mud campaigns stop or scare us? Will this suppression succeed in stopping us? Will we allow ourselves to be fooled again? None of that will happen. These mud campaigns are no longer valid. They won't succeed in stopping us. The only option that they have is to now change themselves.
When's the election?
The Dadigama Samagi Jana Balawegaya rally was held at the Warakapula municipality grounds. The rally was organised by the Dadigama electoral organiser of the SJB, Vasanta Senanayaka.
Think for a minute and look at the faces of those who call themselves the leaders and ask this question. Who is the person who knows our sorrows? Who is a person who would come to our aid in our times of need? Who is the person who can come to the aid of the people when he was not in power without waiting to do it after coming into power?
මේ රටේ
Over half the population in Sri Lanka is in poverty and are helpless. A handful and rich and powerful people in this country don't want these people to come out of poverty. They want to keep these people poor and use that poverty to secure their votes. That is not our policy. We want a sustainable solution. We want to make sure that people of this country can live with self-respect and stand on their own 2 feet.
When's the election?
Who will benefit from the upcoming election? Leader of the National Union of Plantation Workers, Palani Digambaram, who came into Parliament representing the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, expressed views on the people's mandate.
The current government is unlikely to win an election. The price of goods and the cost of living have increased, but the salaries remain unchanged. Therefore, the government is in a tough spot. The race is now between Sajith Premadasa and Anrukumara Disanayaka. Support for Anura has now increased. Sajith also has support. For now, we stand with Sajith Premadasa as he has the support of minority parties.
When's the election?
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna MP Namal Rajapaksa said the SLPP is ready to win any upcoming election. He expressed these views at the SLPP Dasabala program in Balangoda.
We have an issue. Some of Ranil Wickremesinghe's policies do not align with us. The SLPP informed him about that during the meeting with Mahinda Rajapaksa and Basil Rajapaksa recently. Our party is strong. They attacked us, but we can't make political decisions out of fear. We believe that you will take this message to the people and pass the message that we are a strong party. Tell them that we are ready to win whichever election comes next.
Meanwhile, a 2-megawatt ground mount solar project was inaugurated in Vaunathiu, Patiklo.
The ground mount solar project was inaugurated by Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara. The project under the CEB tendering process was constructed and commissioned by Back Bay Solar Private Limited.
We reduce electricity tariffs only due to the stabilization of the Sri Lankan rupee. This, along with the decrease in interest rates, allowed us to provide some relief. However, I believe these measures will not be enough. To further reduce tariffs, we need to implement more projects like this one, which can generate electricity at a lower cost.
You're with Newsfirst, and up next is Action TV.
Electricity tariffs were increased twice last year against a backdrop where the Ceylon Electricity Board had presented inaccurate information and also hidden certain details in the reports that they produced. When the revision of electricity tariffs were considered this year, the CEB once again presented inaccurate information. In their first estimate for the cost of power generation for this year, the CEB overshot the real estimate by a whopping 200 billion rupees. By presenting these false figures in their reports, the CEB attempted to only reduce electricity tariffs by a meager 3.34%. Presenting false information is a crime that could be considered equal to destruction of information. Although no punishment was meted out for presenting these false information, the ministry has taken a viable step to prevent such situation from occurring in the future.
We had a discussion at the ministry. During the meeting, we decided that the information included in the report for the amendment of electricity tariffs, the figures and the expenses should be studied more carefully. If we can further reduce electricity tariffs, we will do it. For so long as the CEB, when these reports regarding financial figures and expenses are prepared, it was an electrical engineer who were the head of various divisions at the CEB. We have changed that now and handed over those responsibilities to financial experts, especially accountants. They are the ones who should take those decisions regarding those matters. An engineer cannot quote a price for expenses.
වියදම වෙනුවෙන්.
According to the statement of the minister, if financial experts have not been assigned to the CEB, shouldn't a proper report on the excessive profits earned by the CEB after electricity tariffs were increased on twice last year be published? An interim report already published by the CEB puts the estimated profits it earned last year at a massive 62 billion rupees.
ස්ටේට්මන්ට් වලින් කරන්න බෑ ඒවා විගණනය වෙලා හරියට එන්න ඕන. ඒ ආවහම තමයි ඒවා ටැරිෆ් වලට ගන්නේ.
මේ ලාභෙත් බෙදන්න පුළුවන්. බෙදියන්න ඕන.
ඒක තීරණය කරත හැකි වෙන වැඩ කටයුතු සහ ඒකේ එන ප්‍රමාණය අනුව අනාගත මේවා එකද අනාගත එන ටැරිෆ් රිවිෂන් එක.
However, the minister is of a different opinion.
ලාභය බෙදා හැරීමක්
The CEB cannot distribute the profits, but the Electricity Act states that if the CEB suffers a loss, they are allowed to recover the loss during the next year, and that if they have earned a profit, that can be distributed the next year. In 2022, the loss suffered by the CEB is over 240 billion rupees. If that's the case, the PUCSL must act according to the Act. I believe they should allow the CEB to reduce their losses using the profits earned in 2023.
2023 වර්ෂයේ ඒ අලාභය අඩු කර ගැනීම සඳහා අවස්ථාවක් දෙන්න.
The only legislative provision pertaining to electricity tariffs is Section 30 of the Sri Lanka Electricity Act. This only allows for a cost-reflective price to be set and does not have any provisions that allow for prices to be set whereby the CEB can earn excessive profits and cover up losses suffered by the CEB during the previous year. Thereby, it is the duty of the minister to support the PUCSL in their attempt to give the general public of Sri Lanka the benefit of this massive profit that was earned by the CEB at the expense of the people.
Newsfirst with the people.
Foreign media reported that the final rites of the Sri Lankan family who was killed in Ottawa will be held once their family members arrive in Canada in the coming days.
Hundreds of friends and residents in Barhaven attended a candlelight vigil on Saturday for the 6 victims who were tragically killed recently. The vigil started at 11 a.m. in Palmadeo Park in Barhaven near the home where they were killed.
I'm very upset since I've seen this news and can't sleep. Like the picture of the family and the kids especially keeps flashing my memories.
What the kids went through to me is the hardest thing, to be honest. And I have young kids as well.
My daughter played with their kids a lot at the temple where they were all playing together. So it's really hard to see that this happened.
My son and one of the daughters same age, they played very well. That time she was pregnant, so I physically touched her belly and said I'm going to Sri Lanka next month. It was in December, and when I come back I will see you with the baby.
We're just a few houses down from where it happened, and it's been weighing heavy on a lot of us, and it's tough to be able to find an outlet to. It's nice to see everyone together and to be able to have this space to grieve. I know it's going to take a long time, and I really feel for the family and all the friends involved.
Barhaven East councillors said that Ottawa residents are extending their support to the first responders who were on the scene when the tragedy happened. 5 members of Dhanushka Wickramasinghe's family were killed at their home in Ottawa. Among the dead were Wickramasinghe's 35-year-old wife Darshani Ekanayaka and their 4 young children. 7-year-old Inuka Wickramasinghe, 4-year-old Ashwini Wickramasinghe, 3-year-old Ranaya Wickramasinghe and 2.5-month-old Kelly Wickramasinghe. Police also found the body of 40-year-old Amrakon Mudyanselage Gamini Amrakon, an acquaintance who was living with the family. The Ottawa police arrested 19-year-old Fabio Di Zoisa, also a Sri Lankan national, who was living with the victim's family in connection with the murders. Foreign media reported that Wickramasinghe is currently receiving treatment for the serious but non-life-threatening damage to his hands and face.
Police are amplifying Operation Yuktiya efforts starting tomorrow by assigning 45 divisional supervisory officers to oversee operations.
හෙට දින සිට
The Inspector General of Police has decided to relaunch Operation Yuktiya tomorrow, covering 45 police divisions. He has appointed 45 brave police officers to this cause. 9 Deputy Inspector Generals of Police from police headquarters supervise the 9 provinces. Additionally, 45 senior officers have been assigned to monitor the progress of Operation Yuktiya. In addition, arrangements have been made to deploy 5 additional officers in each of the 70 police divisions suspected of having a high number of drug users. Police station OICs of the respective stations have been given the authority to supervise and carry out daily operations in this regard.
Employees at the Central Mail Exchange will launch a token strike starting at midnight today against the lack of replacement for a broken elevator.
Only 2 elevators are currently operational to handle activities at the Central Mail Exchange in Colombo. These 2 elevators are designated for freight, leaving employees without dedicated elevators for nearly a year. Due to the lack of functioning employee elevators, staff have faced significant challenges in operating this 8-story building. The freight elevator currently only services floors up to the 5th. To ensure efficient building operations, we request the immediate renovation of this elevator. We kindly request that the administration prioritize the repair and complete it within a month. Demanding that prompt steps are being taken, we will be suspending service at the Central Mail Exchange in Colombo starting tomorrow.
In response, Postmaster General SRW MRP Satkumara told Newsfirst that the tender to repair 25-year-old elevator was handed over to a private company about a week ago. He assured that the elevator was properly assessed and assigned to the company through a procurement process.
A university student hiking in the Alagalla mountain range in Rabukkana was injured after a fall.
The incident took place when a group of students from the University of Vayamba hiked the Alagalla mountain range. The injured student and 10 others had camped on the mountain the previous night and encountered this accident when returning back.
අපි දැහේ ගියට පස්සේ එක්කෙනෙක් එයා විදියට ඉස්සර චොට්ටක් ගියා. ගියට පස්සේ එයා අපිට ගෝල් එක දුන්නා. කිව්වා මචං මම බෙටෙනවා කිව්වා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි වීඩියෝ ගෝල් එක ගත්තා යාට. ඊට පස්සේ මම අපි එඩේම එකේ පේනවා. ඊට පස්සේ එයා ලොකේෂන් එක අපිට එවන්නවා.
The 22-year-old student who fell down the mountain was rescued with the help of the army. After being admitted to the Marvanella hospital, the injured student was transferred to the Kegol General Hospital for further treatment.
Senior advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of the Presidential Staff, Sagala Ratnayaka, highlighted that Sri Lanka is facing international pressure due to the destruction of marine resources by Indian fisherfolk. He expressed these views at an event in Kilinochchi today.
The issue of Indian fishermen entering Sri Lankan waters and their fishing activities requires a diplomatic solution. While the Navy plays a crucial role in patrolling and regulation, a long-term solution can only be achieved through diplomatic channel. We are eager to continue these discussions to address the significant damage caused to Sri Lanka's marine resources and the Sri Lankan Navy's efforts. Bottom trawling is a widely used fishing method that is not accepted globally, that impacts the entire seabed. Since fishermen around the world employ this method, it can also cause significant damage to our own trawlers. Therefore, we advocate for a diplomatic discussion to address these issues, including the question of compensation. Similarly, international pressure is also mounting due to the damage caused to the seabed and the broader marine environment.
The Sri Lankan Navy arrested 22 Indian fishermen who were found fishing illegally in the Sea of Sri Lanka.
Indo-Lanka fishing controversy.
3 Indian trawlers and 22 Indian fisherfolk poaching in Sri Lankan waters off the Kovilan lighthouse in Karinagar were arrested by the Sri Lanka Navy. Sri Lanka Navy spokesperson Captain Gayan Wickramasurya said the arrests were made in the northern seas. The seized trawlers, together with Indian fisherfolk, were brought to the Kankasanthure harbour and they will be handed over to the Mailadi Fisheries Inspector for onward legal proceedings. Tamil Nadu media reported that the fisherfolk were from Rameshwaram and Nagapattinam. With this recent arrest, the Navy has seized a total of 15 Indian poaching trawlers and 110 Indian fisherfolk in Sri Lankan waters in 2024 and subsequently handed them over to authorities for legal proceedings.
People gathered at the Thimbirigasaya junction once again today, demanding solutions to multiple issues plaguing Sri Lanka.
It's the second week of March and it's 262 days of continuous protests by the people of Thimbirigasaya. They are simply asking for a government free of corruption, a system change, and for a free and fair election to be held this year.
He says it's a conspiracy, but I would say it was a misfortune. Misfortune calculated, misfortune done by himself. It was a suicide committed by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. No one else destroyed him. He destroyed himself.
Be intelligent. Use your head. We have got the chance to recoup this country, get rid of all the rogues, vote your conscience and send some decent people to the parliament.
We want stability, but unlike you, we want stability without corruption, with good governance. We want the culprits who brought this country to bankruptcy brought to book. We want accountability.
Sri Lanka has decided to import spices including pepper, ginger, curry powder, nutmeg and cardamom for re-export purposes. These regulations are issued as per the decision of the Cabinet of Ministers.
Import of the spices will be allowed for the purpose of re-export with a minimum domestic value addition of 35%. According to the Extraordinary Gazette issued, the import of powdered or unground pepper will be allowed. The import of powdered or unground nutmeg, including dewormed and punky, has also been allowed. According to the Gazette, cardamom, ginger, saffron, thyme, bay leaf, curry and other spices can also be imported for re-export. The import of dry turmeric has also been allowed. A Gazette was issued prohibiting the importation of the spices from January 1st last year. However, according to a proposal submitted to the Cabinet on the 6th of December, the Ministry of Investment Promotion has given permission to import the spices for re-export.
A beach clean-up was held at Theala Beach yesterday by volunteers of the Social Impact Club at Curtin University, Colombo, otherwise known as SLPP International.
We are here to give a message that this area should be preserved and looked after and taken care of, and the young people should take the initiative and drive such initiatives so that we have a clean environment that we can hand over to the next generation.
Through this initiative, the volunteers hope to raise awareness about the significance of proper waste disposal and the need for regular cleanups to safeguard Sri Lanka's precious coastal ecosystems. The event saw enthusiastic participation from SIC members, Curtin University volunteers and SLIT volunteers.
Kristina Cyklova of Czech Republic was crowned Miss World 2024 in Mumbai, India, where the international pageant was held this year.
And Miss World is Czech Republic.
Czech Republic! Czech Republic! Congratulations, world!
Czech Republic's Kristina Peskova's victory came over three runners-up: Yasmina Zaitoun of Lebanon, Archer Abrahams of Trinidad and Tobago, and Lesigo Chombo of Botswana. These ladies are considered the pageant's continental winners. Across a series of events during the pageant's preliminary competition, including fitness, beauty, talent and public speaking, several contestants won fast-track places in the top 40, a cohort announced at the start of the show. From there, the field was quickly slashed to top 12 and then top 8, at which point the contestants participated in the classic Q&A round, addressing topics discussed at the most recent G20 summit. Asked to shed light on an issue impacting women's healthcare specifically, Peskova, a 23-year-old law student and model, spoke about removing the stigma and shame surrounding menstruation, saying that being a woman is a gift and that periods should not be a taboo subject.
Being a woman is a big gift, and I can't be more grateful to stand here proudly as a woman representing all of the women in the world. And I think the issue which we never should forget is about the menstruation, because women in many countries are still facing the shame when it comes to menstruation, and they're afraid to talk about it, and they don't get the attention that they need to. Thank you.
Peskova replaces the outgoing Miss World, Karolina Bielawska of Poland, whose reign dates back to March 2022.
Still in news overseas, more than 280 Nigerian school pupils have been abducted in the northwestern town of Kuriga.
Foreign media reported the pupils were in the assembly ground when dozens of gunmen on motorcycles rode through the school. The students between the ages of 8 and 15 were taken away along with the teacher. Kidnapped gangs known as bandits have seized thousands of people in recent years, especially in the northwest. However, there had been a reduction in the mass abduction of children over the past year until this week. Those kidnapped are usually freed after a ransom is paid. The mass abduction was confirmed by Ubasani, the governor of Kaduna State, which includes Kuriga. He said 187 students had gone missing from a secondary school and 125 from the local primary school, but the 25 had since returned. President Bola Tinubu said he was confident that the victims will be rescued.
And finally in your news, the Voice Kids Sri Lanka quarterfinals continued for the second day today, with two more contestants from coach Uresha's team securing spots in the semi-finals.
Voice Kids Sri Lanka kicked off its quarterfinals yesterday and will continue for the next 3 weeks. The four coaches currently have 8 members on their teams, but only half will make it to the grand semi-finals. Each day, 4 contestants from one coach will perform. The public will choose one contestant to advance, while the coach will choose another. Today's program featured Coach Uresha's team vying for a spot in the semi-finals. Nimna Lakshita advanced to the semi-finals thanks to public voting, and Hashini Kavisha joining her through Coach Uresha's choice. Throughout the competition, each coach will select 4 contestants for the semi-finals. A total of 16 contestants representing the 4 coaches will advance over the next 3 weeks. The quarterfinals will be telecast live on Sirasa TV for the next 3 weeks. Vote for your favorite contestant on the Voice Kids Sri Lanka app and help your favorite child's dream a reality.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.